Today, we're going to talk about all of our favorite Chef Sanji's incredible fights throughout the series, and we are going to go through this chronologically. We are also going to keep score on how many battles Sanji wins or loses. So let's get right into it with Sanji's first fight, or rather beating, as we see Sanji being beaten up by his brother Niji when they had a training fight at the Germa Kingdom. As we know, Sanji's siblings were genetically modified to be super strong, but Sanji hadn't awakened his Germa powers yet, so when he went to attack Niji, his wooden sword broke. So although it might seem unfair giving Sanji a loss here, he did get beaten by his brother in a 1 vs 1. We now fast forward all the way to Sanji being a chef at the Baratier, a floating restaurant in the East Blue. Here he fights Full Body, a marine who starts drama with Sanji after he drops a fly into his soup to get back at him for ruining his date. When Sanji's smug attitude pushes him over the edge, Full Body smashes the table and they end up in a fight. But things don't go well for Full Body as he ends up losing and is left hanging by his neck, which gives Sanji his first victory. Sanji's next battle is shortly after Don Krieg and his pirate crew came to take over the restaurant, and it was against Pearl, the commander of the Krieg pirates. After Luffy manages to injure him, Pearl gets back up and starts beating up Sanji while Gin has Zeph hostage. But then Gin steps in and knocks Pearl out by smashing his iron plate shield, saying he wants to take on Sanji himself. So we have to add another category to the scoreboard, undecided, as Sanji of course wasn't the one to take Pearl down. Now, as we said, Gin stepped in to take on Sanji himself, which he does. This fight is intense, with both of them taking hard blows, but Gin is too much for Sanji to handle and he takes him down. However, Gin respected Sanji for the kindness he had shown to him, and despite being ordered by Krieg to kill Sanji, Gin could not bring himself to do it and instead helped them take down his tyrannical captain. So this fight still ends in a loss for Sanji. After joining the Straw Hats, Sanji and Luffy make their way to Arlong Park. Here, Sanji went up against Karubi, an officer of the Arlong Pirates who hit Sanji hard with his fishman karate. When Karubi thought he had the upper hand, Sanji managed to blow air into his gills and get him out of the water. Once on land, Karubi still thought he could take on Sanji, but he was dead wrong as Sanji unleashed serious kicks and took Karubi down. Sanji's next skirmish was on the Grand Line, more specifically on the island Little Garden. As the Unluckies showed up to see how Mr. 3 and Miss Golden Week were doing, they ran into Sanji, who was pretending to be Mr. 3 while on a call with Mr. 0. When they tried to take him out, Sanji fought back, kicking Mr. 13 hard into the side of Mr. 3's wax house and snapping Miss Friday's neck with a quick twist. So although this was technically a 2 vs 1, I'll only count this as one battle, so we'll give Sanji +1 to his W score. Finally reaching Alabasta, Sanji faced off against Bon Clay in an epic battle. Although Bon Clay had the upper hand at first, using his powers to impersonate Nami and throwing Sanji off his game, Sanji quickly figured out that Bon Clay had to change back to unleash his real strength. Taking advantage of that, he forced Bon Clay to revert to his true form, leading to an all-out showdown. But in the end, Sanji managed to defeat him. Next up, we have Sanji vs Satori at the legendary Sky Island Skypiea. At first, Satori seemed laid back and carefree, making the Straw Hats underestimate him. But when the crew attacked him, Satori easily dodged and sent them flying into the forest with his impact dial. While Luffy struggled against Satori's tricks, Sanji and Usopp were trying to figure things out. With Satori distracted, Sanji swooped in and took him down with his powerful kick, Konkase,